I want to revisit my comments from Wednesday's show on Skip Bayless parting ways with FS1 and his show Undisputed. There's been a lot of speculation about a possible return to ESPN for Skip Bayless. For ESPN's part, they've stated the following in a release to Front Office Sports just a couple of days ago. Quote, "We are set with the current First Take rotation and wish Skip the best on his future endeavors." I had no idea ESPN was going to issue that statement. That is my day job. I'm not knocking them for that. I work for them. It's not the other way around. They have the right to do what they want. But they didn't let me know they were going to do that. They didn't ask me either. So the public has been asking me, what did I feel about that? Which is the only reason why I'm addressing it. Now, before I address it, I want to play another friend and former colleague of mine, Dan Le Batard, who had this to say on his show.
Doesn't anybody care when? What I'm pointing out to you is Fox got into this business in the laziest way possible. They just said, hey, Bayless, hey, Cowherd, can you come over here and hot take? And they built everything they built. And then in that time, First Take contaminated everything. All of it went to garbage debate television. And in the doing of that, Stephen A. Smith kills the end of the guy's career who gave him the entire opportunity to work at ESPN.
That's not entirely accurate on the part of Dan Le Batard, but I forgive my buddy. To be quite honest with you, over the years, there's only two things. Dan Le Batard and I go back nearly 30 years. Over the years, there's only two things that I've ever taken issue with him with. And one I really didn't know about until recently, when somebody was reminding me of the things that he said about Allen Iverson years and years ago, when Allen Iverson found himself, with some issues to deal with on a personal level, because that's my little brother right there. I got love for him. And when they told me what some of the things that Dan articulated about him at that time, I didn't like that. I never heard it myself, never saw it. But I'm certainly not going to support anybody eviscerating my man AI. The other thing that I've taken issue with, the only other thing I've ever taken issue with Dan Le Batard over the years is how he, comes up with these narratives about Skip Bayless and somehow it involves me in killing his career. First of all, I hope Skip Bayless's career is not over. But the first thing that I would say is that if it is over, is because I think Skip will land someplace. Why can't we respect the fact that the brother's 73 years old? I mean, why are we talking about him like he's 43? And you got 30 years in this business and you just flunked. And because of that, it's a failure. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of us think that we'll have a national television show at the age of 73? I don't. God has blessed me immensely. I'm number one. I've been number one in the mornings for 12 years. Some have said I'm the number one talent in sports media. I leave that for other people to decide. I don't get caught up in all of that. I pay attention to ratings and revenue. I leave the rest for all of y'all to deal with. But I'm 56. I can assure you, I don't believe for 1 second I'm going to be in that position when I'm 73 years old. So why is it that he has to be viewed as failing? That's number one. Having said that, because we don't run from anything on this show, because this is my show and I don't run from anything, period. Usually when I don't comment about stuff, it's because I don't feel like hitting down. It's not worth my damn time. I'm really bored. I'm not interested in somebody or something. Or my bosses have asked me not to. Except on this show, I don't have a boss. This is mine. So I say all of that to say, and I'm going to tell my producers to quiet down in there. Let me say this to you. Skip Bayless. ESPN did not consult with me. Again, they didn't have to. But in fairness, and in the interest of transparency to the viewers out there, the listeners out there, my contemporaries in this business, and everybody else in between, had they asked me, I would have said the same thing that ESPN said. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, together as partners, working across from each other on a debate show, is over. It's been over. And this is not the first time I've said it. There's no negativity or shade being thrown on Skip Bayless. I have moved on. When I arrived on First Take, it was courtesy of Skip Bayless. And for those out there who say who wants to say he saved my career, I got no problems with it. Because even though I was back by the time he asked me to come on First Take, I was restricted to radio. I wasn't allowed on television. And if it wasn't for Skip Bayless giving me the opportunity along with Jamie Horowitz, who knows where I'd be? Fair enough. But that time is a far cry from me being where I am today, where I've been for years, and also serving as the executive producer of First Take. Not to mention having my own platform here that I own and operate 100%. So I'm not throwing any shade or anything on Skip Bayless. I'll always have love for him. He'll always be a brother to me. But I'm not telling you anything that anybody hasn't heard me say before. I'm past all of that. I'm past all of that. And me connecting and reigniting things with Skip Bayless is not what I want my future to be. That was a past that I'll always celebrate and be appreciative of. But that ain't where I'm at now. I got bigger plans for myself that don't include him nor anybody else as a partner. I got bigger plans for myself in terms of what I do, what I want to do with my life. And one of these days, folks are going to learn to listen to me in terms of what I say about me, because I don't lie to y'all. Yes, First Take, I'm here. But I told you I also wanted to produce content. I told you that I wanted to do a little acting. Think I'm on General Hospital by accident? The soap opera General Hospital. I'm on there, have a recurring role. Character's name is Brick, surveillance expert for the mob. It's what I do. I told you I wanted to have my own platform. This is the Stephen A. Smith Show. I told you I wanted to produce content. I got a docuseries on ESPN Plus right now. I got a drama series that I've developed that you'll be hearing about in weeks. I got other content that I'm creating. You know what else I told y'all? I'm interested in new talent, discovering and developing. Because right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, you know what's going to happen in the future? Not me, y'all. The ones out there that chirp and talk and all of this other stuff about what you can do and how you feel and what your opinions are. You don't understand. I want you to succeed. I want to find the next star. I want to find the next abundance of stars, male and female, black, white, Hispanic, and everything in between. I want to be someone who develops content, that creates and builds. In the years to come, I want that to be a part of my legacy. If I can pull it off. You got people out here fantasizing about being on the air. You know what I fantasize about? Spike Lee, Tyler Perry, Antoine Fuqua, Jerry Bruckheimer, Dick Wolf. That's what I fantasize about. And being somebody that's got an eye for talent so you all out there can one day sit in this chair. That's what I've been trying to do. I'd be remiss, however, in neglecting to bring this part up about Skip Bayless and not being on First Take. I wish him well. I want him to land on his feet. He ever needs my help in any other way, I'm happy to help him. But I ain't gonna front, y'all. I wouldn't do that to my man Shannon Sharpe either. That's right, I said it. See, Shannon Sharpe and I used to be contemporaries. We're now friends. We're now brothers. I wouldn't do that to him. I wouldn't even call and ask him. You can't have the kind of separation that they have, and I'm going to be a part of that coming on First Take. No. But it's not just Shannon. You know, there's a whole bunch of people that contribute to the success of my day job, First Take on ESPN. Ryan Clark, it's another brother of mine, the pivot, extraordinary NFL analyst. Wouldn't do that. How about Marcus Spears, Swagoo, my brother? What about him? What about Kendrick Perkins? What about Louis Riddick? See my man Louis Riddick right there? What about my man Jeff Saturday? What about my man Mad Dog Russo? What about my brother from another mother, Dan Orlovsky? What about my boys like Bart Scott? Let me not forget my man Jay Williams. And what about the ladies? What about them? What about Mina Kimes, Kimberly Martin? Monica McNutt, yes. Hard at all of y'all swore, oh my God, she checked Stephen A, and oh my goodness, they don't get along. I love that woman. What about Andrea Carter, who is a superstar in the making in this business? What about Shanae Ogumake? These are my peeps. These are my peeps. What about Brian Windhorst? Please understand. I got a team. And there's a lot of love that exists within that team. And me and Skip Bayless, having everybody focused on us, would take away from the team we built. Of course, Molly Karam. I mean, that's just a given, you know. She's the matriarch of the show, for crying out loud. She comes before everybody when it comes to me. I got a team. It's not about shade. It's not about disappointment. It's not about anything negative for Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless went his way and did his thing for as long as he could. I'm here where I'm at doing my thing for as long as I can. That is the reason that that wouldn't happen. Because what we've established is a special, special bond. Those are my teammates. Those are my family. And it ain't to say that he won't always be. But he made a choice to move on and have his own path. I'm doing the same. I hope y'all can respect where I'm coming from when I break that down to you. I can't be more honest and open than that. I hope you can appreciate it. That's it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. I want to thank John Hope Bryant once again for coming on the show and educating us with his brilliance. Don't forget to watch the full episode, the full interview with he and I talking to one another. You'll learn a lot. Trust me on this, and you'll be better for it. Don't miss it. Go to the Stephen A. Smith Show YouTube channel and check that interview out. Plus, listen on iHeartRadio as well. For all of y'all, I hope you have a wonderful and safe weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Until then, I'm signing off. This is Stephen A. Smith. Peace and love, everybody.